All right. Hi, everyone. Josh here. Thank you, Eternal Sunshine. How are you doing today? B Money, what's going on, guys? I just wanted to give you guys an update on Clicker Ring and a little personal update. So, for those of you who have been following me, Clicker Ring, the new pet training tool, is currently in pre-production. We had a little bit of a snag this week. One of my engineers who's been on the project for like a year decided to go back to school and do some stuff, so he's been a little preoccupied, which has put us on a little bit of a delay. So what I've done is I've got a couple other engineers over. Oh yeah, man, I'd love it if you'd order a couple rings. That'd be awesome. Right now, all the money is going towards picking up plastics. This week, we're going to be ordering plastics, as well as our metal stamping machine to make the plates. And so what we're doing right now with the engineers is my buddy Rob, who is a mechanical engineer, is taking over the project for Will. And Rob is going to be ironing out the designs this weekend. And hopefully this weekend we'll have the first one done. And we're actually going to carve up the mold this weekend. And I will be able to hopefully Periscope that and show you guys us carving up the mold when that happens. So, yeah. So, yeah, kind of not so much bad news, not so much good news either. It's just kind of, these things happen when you're creating a product. It's hard to get everyone on the same page sometimes and meet and things like that. So, what we do is we have a couple other engineers joining the project. And basically, I'm going to have a hackathon here at my house in the next week or two, and we're going to get all the engineers over, and we're going to just crank it out. Oh, yeah, if you do some CNC work, that's cool. Do you have a 5-axis machine by chance? I'm just curious. I'm thinking about picking up one of those Pocket NC machines that was on Kickstarter. It won't be available for some time, but eventually I'm going to pick one of those up for doing some 5-axis milling. And I've also looked into this company called Make Time. And Make Time offers a 3-axis. That's cool. Mine's a 3-axis too. So yeah, there's this company called Make Time where you can rent out your CNC machine or hire people for time. And one of the other projects we have going on, in addition to Clicker Ring, my local seamstress is creating a treat pouch. We're working on a drop leg treat pouch, and that's currently being developed. Hoping to have that prototype back here in the next few weeks. But then as far as the CNC stuff goes, we're also working on a iPhone case mount and maybe a couple Android phones. We're not sure yet. So we're trying to contact Make Time and see if they have any available 5-axis machines. And yeah, well, the thing is it's I already have the designs. Anyone can go and rip it off and just make their own. So I'm not really worried about that. People are going to copycat, and eventually I think that's going to become a thing where people are using hands-free mounts for the GoPro chest harness during Sprint's horrible reception. Oh gosh, well I'm sorry it's so hot down there. So yeah, for those of you who just joined, basically what I was saying is a little quick update on Clicker Ring. One of my all-star designers, Will, has gone back to school, and it's made it really difficult for us to get him on the computer. To iron out these last few little pieces of the design. Basically what happened is I went to go carve Clicker Ring up in the mold, and our CNC machine, we changed the bits out, and we tried to do like a 132 bit, something really small, and for whatever reason we just can't get the machine quality we want with the step over. So we were changing our design a little bit, and we have a design nailed down, which was originally intended to be our third and final design anyway. So, I might as well announce it here, but basically what's going to happen is we already have a design that's, as I've mentioned, for some of you who've read the blog post, thanks for the hearts, guys. For some of you who've read the blog post, we've had 3 different versions of Clicker Ring. And look, someone's blessing me with their presence. Yeah, hi Lux. Hi Lux dog. Okay, can you go lay down now? I know, you're a sweet girl. Oh, thank you, Lux. Okay, come on, let's lay down. Come on, lay down. Say hi to Periscope, Lux. Nom, nom, nom. All right, that's Lux. So, what was I saying? So, basically, we have 3 versions. We're going to go back to version 1. And what version 1 is it's a hinge. Just like a traditional clicker, the plate bends one-sided. And so I'm going to be releasing some of those. We're going to carve up some of those this week in the size 11 to start. And once our plates get here, I'm going to start sending out those rings. Yeah. So we're going to start sending out the size 11 ring, and that's going to be the hinged version. Now, the hinged version is for easy actuation. It's not the prettiest, though. So the design really isn't meant to be like a pretty, shiny, everyday wearable ring like I want the final model to be. So what we're going to do is I'm going to continue to send out those version 1s and get feedback from people. And oh, good. That's good. You have a size 11. Yeah. So those are going to be the first ones to go out. I'm going to make some size 11s. They may not be in the color you guys want and some of that stuff yet, but I guarantee anyone who gets an original version to test out, you're still going to get the final version when that comes. So I just want you guys to be aware of that. And some of you may end up getting some of version 2 to try out as well. So when the metal, once we finalize that design this weekend with Rob, we'll have our dimensions for the plates. And right now we pretty much have a set dimension for the plate. We know that our thickness of the ring is basically about 10 to 12 millimeters, which is a little less than half an inch. And that allows us to determine the width of our plate. And then, yeah, okay, that's good. That's good feedback. I'm glad that the functionality is more important to you because, you know, that was my original goal. Is I just wanted a ring that was going to work, you know, and that's what we have now. But ultimately what I'm going for is something that not only works, but is sexy looking also and slim, can be worn as everyday jewelry. So, like I said, the button on the hinged version isn't the prettiest. And in fact, hey, Chestnut Mutts, what's going on, Abby? The website is clickerplus.com. That's where you can pre-order. I'm having a good hair day today, guys. What do you think? Good hair day, huh? So yeah, that's just a little bit of update on Clicker Ring. You know, these things kind of stink, you know, developing a new product, there's going to be delays, and so the designer thing was one of it, but, you know, thankfully I have enough engineers here, and we've got enough capital now on the project to push this thing through, and I guarantee we're definitely going to have these. Thank you for, yeah, thank you. I just started growing this. I just shave a little bit, but, yep. You can't tell, but my hair's actually getting pretty long, too. It's a little shaved up here, and I'm trying to grow it out. Originally, I was going to be like Ragnar Lothbrok for Halloween or something, but I don't know if it's going to be long enough to do something like that. So, yeah, Clicker Ring. I'm just going to keep plugging away, and hopefully we'll get that wrapped up here this weekend, the first one, and start sending out those hinged models. And then we're just going to keep trucking through version 3 until we finish that in all the sizes. And then ultimately, once we finish that, then the people that are still in the order queue are going to continue to get those. And so, but people are definitely going to have their rings in time for Christmas. Yeah, November beard. I can't wait for that. My brother's already ready for it. He's got a full-on beard. So, what was I saying? The ring. Oh, so right now I'm going to the Association of Professional Dog Trainers conference in Dallas, Texas this year. That's going to be on October 14th to 18th, I believe. So I'm going to fly out Tuesday night, and I'm going to be in Dallas, and I've got about 6 to 7 weeks right now before that happens, and I'm definitely going to have some rings by the time I go there. Like, whatever I have to do to make that happen, I'm going to make it happen. So hoping to have some nice anodized aluminum rings with me when I go to APDT, and one of the reasons I want to do that is I'm really excited. I get to meet one of my lifelong idols, Victoria Stilwell, who I've been asked to blog for recently, so that's quite an honor. You know, I don't mind being a paid list contributor to such a prestigious website and authority figure like Victoria. So I'm really excited to be blogging for her and getting to meet her this year, and all of my supporters and people in the APDT. Some of you might not know this, but I've applied to speak at APDT the last 2 or 3 years, and I've been denied. And I think part of it is even though they're calling for people that break the mold, you know, so to speak, I don't really know any of you guys yet. Like, the most contact a lot of you have ever had with me has been Twitter. I've been on Twitter since 2011, you know, and I've known like Pamela Markson and gosh, I could name people forever, but So I've never really got a chance to meet a lot of my professional colleagues in the Association of Professional Dog Trainers. So I'm really excited about that. And I hope that once I go and make those connections with people, that hopefully next year I'll actually be able to speak about one of the topics I really want to speak about. And I've had you'll hear me talk about this all the time, but I've had a lot of different experiences with dog training than I think a lot of dog trainers have in larger markets. And I live in a smaller market where the dog training is a lot more difficult business, and it's a luxury service is what it really comes down to. And so what I've been working on these past few years are alternative business models for dog trainers. And yeah, it's really not that far, but you'd be surprised. There's a big positive training movement, that came out of the Bay Area. And when you get to somewhere like Chico, that's only 3.5 hours away, all of a sudden we're like 10 years behind the times. And if you go up to somewhere like Oregon, on the hills where I used to live, it's even further behind the times. So there's been I had this great idea for Periscope the other day. I was going to talk about the two types of knowledge, and you'll see in a minute why I'm bringing this up. But there's two types of knowledge. There's the know-how, which is what dog trainers do, or what, we're going to go as low as size 5 B-Money. So there's the know-how knowledge, and the know-how is how you do something. So you usually, if you're a dog parent and you need help, you go to a trainer because they can show you how to train your dog. And then us trainers, we typically get a lot of information from the know-why side, and the know-why side is what is pretty much academic psychology and a lot of academic research. And any of the big concepts in dog training have really come out of academic psychology, particularly like clicker training and Breland and Karen Pryor and those types of things, learning theory and Premack principle and all those types of stuff. And so there's this huge disconnect between academic psychology and the professional dog training industry. And now what has to happen is we have all these dog trainers who pay thousands of dollars to become a certified professional. And then all of a sudden you become a dog trainer because you like working with dogs, you like teaching people and those types of things. But a lot of us dog people aren't business owners. And we don't really think about what goes into entrepreneurship and what it means to own a business and what we have to do every day in our lives, and how that affects our relationships with our family and our friends and all those different types of things. So what I've come up with are a couple solutions, and I'm still in the process of writing a book about this, but alternative business models. You've probably seen me and a lot of other dog trainers go for digital approach lately. A lot of us are starting WordPress websites, and we're starting a lot of e-commerce type stuff. The digital information product world is huge in dog training right now. Like pet parents would rather pay $9.99 for an ebook than call you for a 1-hour lesson, and that's just sort of the nature of the field. And I think traditionally information has been passed down to generation by their different locales, and because of this, we have just so many different cultures and misconceptions about dog parents. And I think in order to make the positive training, force-free movement thing mainstream, and I don't just preach this because I'm coming out with Clicker Ring, and I think everyone should be wearing a Clicker Ring and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, tech is killing us all. The thing is there's always going to be a new gizmo or a new gadget. But as far as the positive training movement goes, I think we've learned that a lot of animal shelters and rescues have less resources than ever and are unable to provide those types of services. So if you live in a place like Silicon Valley, sure, the Silicon Valley Humane Society can probably, and the San Francisco SPCA as well, they're well known for their quality of dog training courses. But if you come up to a place like Chico and you adopt a dog from the Butte Humane Society, you're not going to get that level of training or education along with your adoption. And so one of the things I'm really pushing for, and you're going to see this partly happen, we're going to start to make these relationships with Clicker Ring, but pretty soon animal shelters and rescues will be able to receive a portion of every Clicker Ring sale. And once we have those relationships established, I've got this really exciting project I've been working on. You guys have probably heard me say before that Clicker Ring is just the beginning of what I want to do. And what I'm working on is this multi-sided company model where essentially training is free for dog parents. If you adopt a dog from an animal shelter or rescue, you're going to get free access to education. All of our content is going to be made by other professional trainers, and it's going to be curated. We're going to have a whole, am I okay with training hunting dogs? Yeah, I've trained hunting dogs. I work with a hunting dog out in Durham. There's actually a video on my YouTube channel of a little blind retrieve we were doing and some hand signals and stuff. And I'm kind of glad you brought that up, but hunting dog communities are typically, non-force free, and you're going to see a big change, I think, eventually with clicker training being used in hunting dog and positive training and Stetson and things like that too. Police in like the UK are already training police dogs with clicker training, and I think it's only going to be a matter of time before those types of things become mainstream. So anyway, kind of got a little off topic there. But in any case, so I have this unique perspective I want to share, and I want to be able to do more public speaking. I want to do more podcasts. My website and everything about me is going to change dramatically this fall. One of the things you're going to see me do more is more blabs and more podcasts, and I'm going to kind of start my own show. We're going to bring on other professionals, and we're going to have intimate conversations about how we can change the future of our industry as professionals. Because don't get me wrong, I love the APDT, I love Pet Guild, but I think there's some shortcomings to those organizations and the bureaucracy behind the nonprofit systems that really prevent us from achieving some of the things that we as animal trainers want to achieve in our profession. So yeah, the first blab I'm doing is going to be this Sunday. I believe it's at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You might have to double check that though. The information's on Laura Joseph's Animal Behavior Center. Laura invited me to do her first blab, so I'm pretty excited about that. Not quite sure what kind of questions she has planned for me yet. I gave her my interview with Flagler Humane Society to look over and kind of use that as a reference point. So if you get a chance on my YouTube channel, check that out. Just search for me, Dog Guy Josh, on YouTube, and I'm sure you'll find some of my videos. I actually have 3 YouTube accounts. I have the one for Clicker Plus. I have a personal one, which I use to like watch Star Wars videos and stuff. And then I have my Dog Guy Josh one. And for whatever reason, I can't name the channels. I can only name the Clicker Plus one. So I'm still trying to figure out how to do some of that. So yeah, that's a little bit of update on Clicker Ring and what's going on with me. And I'm definitely trying to take more of a professional approach. And I want to, this between now and the first of the year, my goal is to transition out of becoming a full-time trainer and into the CEO of Clicker Plus full-time. And January, we're going to have our official launch for Clicker Ring. So everyone's kind of going to get their orders between now and the meantime, and we're going to do that soft launch. And then we're going to roll out our final version in January. I'm going to be at Clicker Expo Reno. That's real close by in my neck of the woods. So if you're around or if you want to go meet me, you can go to Clicker Expo in Reno, and I'm going to be there. And if you've ordered and if you want, I'd say I take your ring to you, but you probably don't want to wait that long. But if you do want to wait that long, I'll bring your ring to you. How's that? So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as Clicker Ring stuff goes. I'm back in school, 6 units this semester. I'm finishing my bachelor's degree in psychology and my minor in entrepreneurship. And I'm really excited about that. I'm taking 2 capstone courses. One is the psychology of close relationships, and the other one is managing new ventures, which is pretty fitting for what I'm doing right now. And this summer I went to this huge, I'm trying to order, how do you have stock? For stock, I use a local supplier called All Metal Supply in Orville, and they have pretty good, of course their daily rates on aluminums and materials change, but generally for the block of aluminum I need, it was like $5 to $10 for that. And I'm sure I can get those cut into different sizes later. So anyway, yeah, I'm going back to school. I'm finishing my last 6 units. Luckily, I only have to go there for like an hour a day, and so it's not too... and the workload really isn't that much. It's all case studies and stuff I'm used to doing, and I should do, fine as far as the course goes and sail through it, and none of that should impact Clicker Ring or any of the other stuff I'm doing. And gosh, really can't wait to start blogging for Victoria. I probably mentioned that earlier, but I'm really excited about it. I've got this article planned. I don't really want to like say what it is because I want to have some of this other stuff like I'm doing out on my website and kind of there ahead of time for when I launch this article, because I know when I launch my first Victoria Stillwell article, I'm going to get a ton of traffic on my website, and I'd hate for all that traffic to go to waste by not having some of my opt-ins and things like that in place. So But I should have that article out here in the next month. I also owe Pet Guild an article. I want to start writing for them monthly. And so if you guys have article ideas or things you want to hear about, based on our Periscope sessions or something, feel free to let me know. And that's pretty much it for the time being. Hope you guys are all doing well, and I appreciate you watching today and getting a little update. And hopefully if we carve up some molds this weekend, I'll broadcast again, and you guys can see a little bit of that happening. It's like watching paint dry, so don't expect me to broadcast too long. Anyway, do you guys have any questions before I go? Okay. Well, it's good to see you guys all again. Thanks for watching, and I'll put this replay up on the Clicker Plus YouTube channel if you guys want to check it out later. And thanks again. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good weekend.